When Women Speak and New Jersey Poetry Events presents
When People Speak, Poetry and Conversation with pop-up poetry guests.
Coming up is Elliott. Elliott, can you unmute your mic? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Good evening.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Forgive my lateness. I was in a deep coma-like sleep. I gotta work in a few hours, so I'll be.
Come on, Chef, bring it. What you got tonight?
I don't have this piece memorized, and I don't have my laptop in front of me. So forgive me if y'all don't see my face as I read this. You'll hear my voice. I actually put this together a day or two ago for a literary magazine I'm gonna be in soon. So bear with me. Beyond chalk outlines, beyond hip hop culture, dope games and chains that shine, beyond stop and frisk, beyond black power fist, there's a golden heritage that exists, beyond super predator hit list, beyond ADHD, beyond the time where our pride shifted, beyond project windows, beyond brothers sharing bunk beds and piss-stained clothes, beyond the fear and anxiety that grows, beyond the laser light beam that exposed inner workings of high self-esteem disposed. What about the scars that showed and the larger ones that hid in psyches and bodies later riddled with bullet holes or murmurings that we were never good enough that took their toll, beyond a 4, 5, 6 dice roll, beyond being a Mark Pravada, beyond the rabbit beast persona embedded in warm saliva, beyond D.W. Griffith, the birth of a nation on permanent vacation from homeland, no fancy luggage in hand, blown around like Egyptian sand, beyond welfare with ungodly lines, beyond graph on city trains or prophetic street signs, beyond is an ambition that blinds and formulates algorithms that disassemble the rope they use to bond, like wine, with time, we grow more distinguished and fine, beyond gangster rap, trapping black boys with backwards hats confused about who their enemy is before Santa Claus and Jesus gifted white saviors to black kids, beyond the unfair drug sentencing that broke up homes and made it harder for black children to live. For every pile of shit, there is a golden nugget that this darker race to society gives. For me, a wilding teen running free and confused in the veil of night, not until now have I come to realize that I am the darkest light. Black ant, we crawl, black and unassuming, we lift 10,000 times our weight. We are America's lingering mistake. They brought us here to be slaves. The two eyes had to watch us become great. We trenched through concrete terrain, dodging boots and knees. 100 years after running from rope and trees, we climb up bark, carrying food through dark. We small, but got heart, our blood in the air. They kill one of us, another one is there. They push to get rid of us, but we are everywhere. We are very rare in cell cuff, electric chair. We march militia style. Small became big after a while. We soldiers single file through dope and free blaze file and getting buildings abandoned now, but never a project roach. We first class fly, never coach, win eternal. Once we changed our mental approach, walk right over by drunken feet, but we sober, defeat the elite. That lie is over. History repeats until black ants swarm presidential electoral seats, bust down door and pour reparation receipts on floor of fruit crushed. Not enough to stop the bum rush that's coming, turning racist maggots to dust. Our body armor, black coat, black hope, mental trauma. Our shield reminding America redefining, redesigning statues ripped from Mother Earth's lining. Perfect timing. We coming through cracks in America's walls. We the shit not flushed down the stall. They put knee on our neck, but they can't squash us all. Black ant, under rock we crawl. To the surface, stand tall. We coming, turning racist maggots to dust, stomping bullshit out, even against those amongst us. We lift 10,000 times our weight, our strength rooted in faith, erased from text, the white hoods that wrote our fate. Black ant, they push to get rid of us, but we are everywhere. We are very rare, even in cell cuff, electric chair, we, black ants.
Like, whoa, why you cut the video off, brother? That was deep. That Elliott, come on, James, help me with this. I'm speechless.
Man, let me tell you.
Bar.
I'm gonna say this publicly. Elliott, you scare me, brother. You scared. I don't ever want to face you in a slam. I think we did maybe once, and even then, I was like, "No, this man is too good." So,
it ain't about competition. It's about combination, bro.
I love it.
absolutely.
I want to work with everybody. I want to work with all my people, man. And
Absolutely.
put out stuff that's going to redirect some change. You know what I'm saying?
You always uplift others too, Elliott. That's the thing I like about you. Like, you don't have a problem with telling everybody that, you know, there's a voice, there's a spot for everyone in this. Poetry is poetry and poetry is everything, man. But I gotta tell you, that was off the plane. That was way out there. We got people making comments like, we are everything and everywhere. Yes. And
we are very rare.
Good,
you know, like, sometimes we need those reminders, man. Like, I think, you know, what's lost in this is a part of the reason we get nilled on and stepped on is, you know, we intimidate. You know, we intimidate with our glow. That's why I said we are the darkest light. You know what I'm saying? We are. I feel that. I believe that.
That was truly, son. And James, you got something you want to close this show out with? Thanks, Elliott.
Thank you.
Wow. To follow that. Whew. Oh man. I think we were talking behind the scenes, and you wanted, you know, me to talk about economics.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the things that is crippling our community. One of the things that is that we have to get back to. We have to resurrect, you know, Black Wall Street today. And I think a lot of the disenfranchisement that we experience would no longer be a factor because we're taking our destiny in our own hands. So I wrote this poem I originally wrote it for myself. And I wrote it at a time where I wasn't happy, where I was as a man financially. And it was like a wake-up call to myself. I'm going to share it, and you know, hopefully you pull something from it. So this is called Mr. Poor. You know me. Your parents know me. But you walk around here like you outgrown me. Like you can out-income me. Look at your bank statement. You don't have a pot to pee. You let people in the same position you are tell you how to be. You're so silly. I mastered the math. All I got to do is take away your dreams to dictate your path. Tell you, you don't have a craft. You don't know how to make people laugh. You can't rap. You can't sing. You'll never make the NBA draft. You should be happy with what you have. But like that little girl in the AT&T commercial, we want more. We want more. Gotta have that house you can't afford. Gotta have that credit score. But the wealthy pay in cash. They never meet me, Mr. Poor. Still pretending like you don't know me. I'm that 4% inflation rate that is preventing you from getting ahead. I'm that Medicaid budget cut that is preventing you from getting your meds, meaning you're dead in the water 2 ways. All it takes for you to be poor is 2 pays because you haven't saved for those rainy days. And even if you win the lottery, you'll be broke tomorrow because you haven't changed your ways. Because you would rather have stuff now than be content today. Pay with things with plastic, make you think you really need one, just in case things get drastic now. You're in serious debt living in your parents' attic. You're a brand name fanatic. You're shopping at the mall every day, every payday addict, and think all your problems will be solved if you vote Democratic. But the Republicans are the same joke in a different smoke. The law of supply and demand has you all in the same boat like the ones your ancestors came in. And you promote me to everybody you know without me even lifting a pen. Never heard of living below your means. Never heard of living on rice and beans. Gotta have the latest trend. Gotta have this season's jeans. The funny thing is, I'm your enemy and you don't even know it. God can give you a $1 blessing, but you'll just bury it in the ground instead of growing it. They call me Mr. Poor.
Wow. Yeah. You know, like, this is where we're going to end the show, because you and I spoke earlier, and I've been speaking about this since we've been into this whole Black Lives Matter and reawakening of self, people of color. And we have to have something tangible that we can bite our teeth into and start working on. And for me, the most important thing is having an economic base that works for us, by us, and have that money recycled back into our communities and make it work for our people. That means, what I want to say in summary is, as long as you continue to rely on and go to the oppressor for help, you are going to remain in the same state. So one of the things that we need to really work on collectively is our economic strength. We need to learn how things work in the financial industry. We need to learn how Wall Street works. We need to go to the masters from within ourselves and learn that. And once we learn it, we need to teach others, and we need to build our own communities. We don't need them. When you come into our areas, we have every ethnicity, every other nationality there working the higher end and making the money and taking it out of the community and taking it back to where they are. You got the nail salons, I'm not even gonna go down the list because you guys know what I'm talking about. We remained in this state for many, many years, many, many decades, because we don't know how to work money. We got some people that, they figured it out for themselves, but it's not enough anymore to just figure it out for ourselves. We gotta teach and reteach. That means the entire community should know how to be effective with our money. And there's a movement out there like the buy black, but buy responsibly black. So in other words, if somebody's putting out a bad product, we're not saying support them, but we are saying spend a little bit of extra to support those that are trying, because we don't get the same things as everybody else get. So that means our price may be a little bit higher. Where's your sacrifice? So I started this program talking about you have to be willing to sacrifice. And sometimes that sacrifice is let go of that money. Let that money flow and let it flow back into ourselves, and stop depending upon them for what we need, what our needs are, because they don't mind if we die in the streets. That's what's going on here. People with masks, people without masks, the person in the White House, he doesn't wear one. How do we know even what's really happening out here with this pandemic? It seems kind of weird, right? When you look at it, when you evaluate it scientifically, it looks real weird. I'm not saying that something out there, it is real. It's real. It's real. So why aren't we really looking at it like it's a real threat to us? And why aren't we paying attention? And why aren't we working on the things that matter to us and don't become complacent? I was around in the 60s. I don't have any shame with that. And I was wearing a fro back in the 60s. And I was holding my fist up back in the 60s. And now it's 2020. And I see the people doing the same thing. But nothing has changed for us. We haven't changed where we are. People come to this country from other places. When you look, they're in better places than we are in terms of how their surroundings are, who they owe to. Their interest rates are lower. There's a plan out there, and it's against us. And it's not going to change until we learn to do better for ourselves, right? There's part of, I'm sorry to be so long-winded, but we need to find that one thing and move towards it collectively. And once we have that, splinter off to the next thing. Once we have that, splinter off to the next thing, and build experts. Because we can't be on all platforms. But as long as we build and teach experts to handle those specifics, we can move on as a people and claim our rightful status. And we dependent upon them. It has to be on us.